Alright, we are live. Okay. Good evening. Chat is ready to display messages. Hello, Mike. Good evening. How are you, Mike? A little bit later tonight. My game against Kev's Chaos Force was cancelled. So here we are to do a bit of painting. The first three of the four first people in the chat tonight are Mike. We got Mike, paints red. We got Michael Huff. We got Michael Palmer. Hello, Mikes. You know, my son's called Mike. So we got four Mikes in the house. Hello. Joseph, good evening. Hazard, good evening. Brandon, hello. Neither of us have a game on Wednesday night. What is going on exactly? I think Kev decided to pull out because he didn't have any chance of beating the Blood Angels. Hello, Miles. Do you know what? We're going to get Miles' Thousand Suns on the channel next week. I'm very excited about that. Apparently, Miles, even with the Thousand Sun, I've heard on the grapevine, Miles, that you've already beaten Colin twice, even with the Thousand Suns getting nerfed. Did they not get nerfed enough, or is Colin just that bad? I mean, don't answer that. Hello, Michael. It's getting a bit worrying. How many fucking people are called Michael in the stream? There we go. Demonetized myself within the first minute. But come on. There's like 10 people in the stream and 5 of them are called Mike. What's up with that? I mean, I've got nothing against the name Mike. My dad's called Mike. My kid's called Mike. But I mean, like, what is going on tonight? Like, we're just having a laugh. Hello, Hyde. Good evening. It was pathetic and Colin cried. It was on. Did you play him on the Clarkhead stream? Hello, Velcro. Hello, how you doing? Eternal Crusader, good evening. Ironically, Mike is probably streaming on Twitch and he's actually painting my tank for me. Thanks, Mike, for painting my tank. I do appreciate it. You're a legend. Michaels are taking over the world, okay. Hello, Crispy Delicious. Hello, Monkey Llama. How is everybody tonight? Is everybody painting up their new Blood Angels? I mean, I'm actually happy that I haven't been playing as much on Wednesday nights because I actually do need the time to get some damn paint on models. Because I need Primaris Death Company. Marius, how are you? TY Green Goblin, thanks for all the great content. Thanks for watching, dude. There wouldn't really be much point in me making content if you guys didn't watch, would there? Brandon will be saving his Sangre Guard. I pre-ordered the Combat Patrol this week. I was kind of in two minds about it because I didn't pre-order any of the new Sangre Guard. But no, I went ahead and ordered the Combat Patrol. I figured that may as well get some of those new Sangre Guard models. A couple of people in the chat have been saying that the new Sangre Guard models are really nice to build and paint with.
I have awoken.
James was saying they're really good. Hi, thank you so much for the gifted membership. I do really appreciate it. Very nice to start the stream with a gifted membership. I do appreciate it. If you do get a gifted membership, make sure you use it. Come over onto our Discord, get into our members only room. You're very welcome in there, obviously. Yeah, I self-gift? Self-gift? Oh, you're saving your Sangre Guard with the Grey Tide pieces. Oh, cool. When does that campaign actually finish? I got a shipping dispatch note, so I should be getting my Grey Tide pieces imminently. I think I got an email yesterday with like a tracking number. So ironically, this is actually a Grey Tide Eviscerator that I am painting right now because I got some of the pieces early, but I bought myself a bunch more because I just liked them so much, and I felt like the new Sangre Guard really lack jump packs, wings, all that good stuff. So I spent I actually spent $100 on Grey Tide bits. Great, I finished today. You just downloaded it? Oh, cool. So we're going to see people getting them rolling out on the printers. Well, that's cool. So I spent $100. I bought 3 sets for myself. That cost like $50. And I bought 3 more sets, which I'm going to do like in the next charity raffle that we do on the channel. Because the last charity raffle went really, really well. We raised like over £1,000 for a children's hospital. So I'm going to do another charity raffle at some point. So for me, stocking up on some prizes ready for the next raffle is a good idea. Last time I bought like one of those limited edition Horus Heresy books. It was the Sanguinius one, actually, the Sanguinius Horus Heresy book. So maybe if there's another like Blood Angels limited edition book coming out, we'll try and grab that as well, and then we'll do another charity raffle. Can I ask anyone that has a storm speeder to measure the total height of the model on a flight stand? If no one else can do that for you, I can totally do that for you, Wraith Knight. Let's see if anyone in chat helps out, but no, I could totally measure the height of the model, no problem. Sam got his shipping note yesterday as well, looking forward to seeing. Nice. Yeah, so I ordered the Combat Patrol for myself. Somebody said that you actually get 2 upgrade sprues inside the Combat Patrol. I wasn't sure, I thought it was just the one. I assumed it was 1 set of transfers and one upgrade sprue, but I think I read someone saying that you got 2 upgrade sprues, so I'm not entirely sure how many upgrade sprues you get in the Combat Patrol. If it's 1, I think it's fine. If it's 2, great, I guess. But yeah, so I guess I'll be getting my Combat Patrol next week, something like that. So I'm not going to rush to get the Sanguinary Guard done. My rush at the moment is to get a bunch of Death Company with Eviscerators done, I think. And maybe I'm going to go and finish off my Outriders, because I do actually really have a big love for Outriders in the current edition of the game. I think they're even better now for Blood Angels with Advance and Charge, right? Like, I think they were pretty good before, but I think Advance and Charge potential for Outriders with their guaranteed 18-inch move, pretty nice. I did also spray my Astaroth. Yeah, so I've got him ready to go as well. So, he is such a nice model, by the way. Like, I know some people don't like these little jump pack fins that he's got, and I mean, I guess if you could file them off. I'm not sure they're necessary, but yeah, no, I do actually really like the new Astaroth. I think he feels imposing. Are you fixing the weapons at all? What do you mean, am I fixing the weapons, Austin? Sorry. It's confirmed you get 2 upgrade sprues. Oh, well, that's nice. I wasn't sure. I don't think you actually needed to get 2 upgrade sprues with it, Combat Patrol, but I'll take it. Yeah, I've really enjoyed painting like, I've painted my Mephiston and I'm like halfway through my Dante. And I just generally really enjoy painting Primaris Marines over painting Firstborn Marines. I think it's like the size difference just makes it like... The Primaris ones take longer, but they just have so much more detail. And like, I pulled this, you know, like the difference between the 2 sizes is batshit crazy. Like, look at this. The guy on the right, he's a squat. He's honestly a squat. Anyone know where to find 40k suppressors? eBay, Brandon. Do you know what? Suppressors look really interesting now at 75 points, but unfortunately you can buy them on the Games Workshop website, but you can only buy them in like a giant box of guys that cost like 100 quid, right? I think it's 87 bucks for the box that has 3 suppressors in it. The ATV is ablative wounds for the Outriders. I don't know. I mean, I would just rather have another 3 Outriders than to have an ATV in there. I think the ATV is kind of pointless. That may change, but have I started working on my suppressors? Yeah, I mean, I've got suppressors just here, I think. They're not finished. But I was doing a Death Company scheme on my suppressors. The edge highlighting on these guys needs badly cleaned up. but I usually edge highlight pretty roughly and then go back and clean them up. So like, I was working on suppressors. I just don't know if I'm gonna focus on them, if that makes sense. We'll leave him there. No, that suppressor's honestly probably like, he hasn't had any paint put on him in like 6 years or something. What do you get in that Vanguard box, Marius? What makes it worth it? Deserved. What is the vehicle that you can build an impulsor in the other tank? Is the Gladiator deserved? Mike, who is speaking to you in chat, is actually building one for me right now on his stream. Are you streaming tonight, Mike, or when are you streaming next? Maybe we can get deserved in and you can show him how you've converted my one. Well, or just tell him when you're live next, and he can drop you a follow on Twitch and check it out. I take it you'll still be working on my one for a few weeks, right? The suppressors just look daft. I think they look okay, man. It's just an auto cannon. I mean, it's not that daft, is it? I was gonna say they don't look any more or less daft than Desolation Marines, right? I think when they're painted, they'll look pretty decent. Infiltrators, a lieutenant in Phobos armor, and eliminators. Okay, so the infiltrators are good for Blood Angels. The lieutenant on Phobos armor isn't the worst idea. He's nice to have occasionally. A lot of people actually use that lieutenant in Phobos armor with infiltrators, in fact, didn't they? To make them unshootable, or that's the special rule. And then the suppressors, yeah, it just sucks that you can't buy them on your own, so you're kind of stuck spending quite a bit more money. Like if you wanted to buy 6 or 9 suppressors, it would be insanely expensive. I mean, your only option, I guess, would be to buy them and then flip the other models on eBay, right? People are always going to need infiltrators. There's a lot of new Blood Angels players out there at the moment, and the reason I know there's a lot of new players is because my channel has been inundated with new player questions. It's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's like nice to see new people. It's nice to see new names in the live chats, live streams, whatever you want to call them. But there have been so many new players out there. That's why I made the two videos about like how to start Blood Angels using like the new boxes, just because there's been so many questions and so many new players out there. So it probably means that if you did buy the suppressor box, the chances of you being able to sell them are probably, or sell the other models in the box, are probably pretty high. I mean, if I need like 5 intercessors, not that I need 5 intercessors, but if I ever need like just 5 guys, I literally always look on eBay first, because I bought I think it was actually infiltrators, and I was just needing like 5 more infiltrators, or maybe it was incursors. The infiltrator kit makes both, right? Like you make the incursors and you make the infiltrators from the same kit with the incursors. And I think I was needing like 5 incursors, and I was like, you know, like 5 incursors is probably, I think you can't actually buy them in 5s, right? You buy them in 10s, and it's probably like close to $50, $45 or something. And I was like, let me just look on eBay, and it was like 5 incursors on eBay, like £15. I mean, there's no box, but I don't really care about the box because I'm throwing out the box as soon as the models are made. There's no instructions, well, I don't really care about that. You can find pretty much all the instructions with a quick Google search. So I was like, yeah, well, I save like $20-30 and just get them without instructions, which I can get online, and without the box, which I don't need anyway. In the box, there was easy to build infiltrators in a 10, right? Oh, I don't know how many it is in that box. Howdy, Ryan. How are you? Comparing daftness to Desolation Marines isn't a high bar. Who said that? The JDI, okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess Desolation Marines aren't that high a bar, correct? Thank you so much for the gifted membership, Sam. Thank you. Very generous of you. Like I said before, if you get a gifted membership, please use it. Please come hang out in our members only Discord. We're at, like I said, because there's been so many new players, we're actually probably at the most members we've ever had on this channel. I
have awoken.
You're now live on Twitch, Mike. There you go. Were you painting anyway, Mike, or have you just gone live because I said, I was going to say, don't...
I have awoken.
I actually don't know how it works if I watch you while I'm live, Mike. Do I get in trouble for that?
I have awoken.
I'm plugging you, Mike. Don't copyright strike me or get me in trouble, okay? Oh, you've got an advert on your stream right now, Mike. I'm paying you my gifted memberships right now, Mike. Right, give me 1 second. Right, I'm gonna throw Mike's Twitch link into chat. If you do have a Twitch account, you can follow Mike over here on Twitch. Here he is. He's painting my impulsor as we speak. So I'm basically being doubly effective here. I'm painting my own models, and I'm getting Mike to paint mine as well. It's a win-win, Mike. There he is. So here's his Twitch, Mike Chili. If you're so inclined, please drop him a follow. Mike's my commission guy. Anytime I need a Blood Angels commission, I was going to say for like the last 2 years, anytime I need a commission, Mike, it's always Mike. He's very reliable. There you go. If you could get, like... If we could give you a rating out of 5, you know, like an Amazon rating, we'd give you 4 stars, Michael. You could be cheaper. I'm fucking with you. I'm sorry. Okay, serious. Let's be serious. Hello, Matthew. Good evening. How are you? Velcro Badger. Is it better to run infiltrators in 5s or 10s? Run them as 5s, dudes. They're absolutely fine in 5s. Use them to prioritize holding your backfield objective. They're really, really strong. Shots fired. Yeah, just messing. Mike actually does do me like some really, really competitive prices, so I cannot complain at all. No, he's a stand-up guy. If you need a Blood Angels commission, you can easily reach out to Mike. He's based in the UK as well, so I mean, I guess if you're looking for a commission in the UK, and then that's the other cool thing is he paints your models on his stream. So if you want to see the progress, that's something that I really like about you, Mike, actually, is because when I did commissions before, sometimes when you do a 40k commission, it's like a black box, right? You pay the person, you send them the models, and like a month later you send them an email like, hey, how you getting on with my models? But you don't want to be like super pushy, right? Because like they're probably busy, they've got a real life, etc, 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 you know? Whereas like Mike, he's literally painting them on his stream, so like rather than me bothering him, I can just go and look at it and go like, alright, you know, because actually Marius messaged me today in Discord and was saying like, you know, like, who do you get to commission? I was saying like, it's Mike, and it's great because like, I don't need to bother him, I can just go and look on his stream and I'll see how far on he is. So, yeah. Do you reckon you guys can patch Sanguinary Guard from Intercessors and the Grey Tide bits? I mean, you probably could, Sam, but the one issue you would have is that the Sanguinary Guard are on 40mm bases, but that isn't the end of the world, right? Like, there's 2 ways around that. One way is you could just build the Intercessors on 32mm bases, and when you're finished, stick them on 40s, because that will make the Intercessors a little bit bigger by putting them on top of a 40. And that's literally what I did for my firstborn Sanguinary Guard, right? Let me show you, because I didn't want to rush. Like, I'm slow at painting. I would paint quicker, but then I wouldn't be able to do any YouTube content because my time's finite, right? So what I did was I just, for now anyway, for the next 6 months, my firstborn Sanguinary Guard are going to be Primaris Sanguinary Guard. I guess if you put them side by side to Primaris model, what I've done is I've just stuck the old base, the old guy on the 32, I've stuck it on a 40 because that's the size now. Originally, I think I was going to rebase them. But actually, thinking about it, I was like, if I just stick them on top of a 40, that actually gives them some additional height. And they probably, like, technically for, like, legal speaking in terms of tournament games, you probably actually want them to be a little bit taller so that they're more representative of, you know, like, they're more representative of the Primaris Sangre Guard. So I just took all my... Well, I took 12 of my Firstborn Sangre Guard. I actually have 30. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them all. But I took 12 of them and just rebased them. And 5 of these bases cost like £4. So basically I was able to take 12 of my Sangre Guard for about $10. I got them all on the right size 40mm bases. They're all a little bit taller now, so they're more... You know, they match the height of the Primaris Marines a little bit better as well, just because they're like double stacked on the base. And I think that I'll be absolutely fine doing that. I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with that at a tournament. At least that's my opinion of it. Someone might have a problem with it, but I think most of the tournaments I go to, people will be totally fine with that. Fun fact, I once asked Siege Studio to paint one Custodian Warden, and they wanted £300 for it. Well, Siege Studio are probably painting it to a little bit of a higher quality, but yes, I guess... That is a very expensive warden, I guess. I'm not... I was going to say, I'm not really interested in paying $300 for one model. Sangre Guard were on 32mm, and the new Sangre Guard that are coming out... I think some people have got them. If you pre-ordered them 2 weeks ago, you'll have them now. The new Sangre Guard are indeed on 40mm bases. Same size bases as Blade Guard. So they're a little bit bigger now. I guess you can rebase your models, like I was originally planning to, or you could do something like what I've done, which is just stack them on top of each other. There's a question there from someone over on Twitch. Hold on. Epsilon, hey Commander, I'm just getting into 40k. I selected Blood Angels. I'm excited to start, waiting for my combat patrol. There we go. Welcome, Epsilon. Most of my content is on YouTube, so I mean, check me out on YouTube. It's great that you're following on Twitch, but I get tons and tons of pre-recorded content on YouTube, so if you want to know how to build your combat patrol, how to equip the weapons, all that good stuff, I make videos on everything. But welcome to the stream. Mike charges nearly $200 for Dante now. Really, Mike? Wow. You really do give me good prices then, do you? I've seen some of the Dantes you do, though. They're kind of amazing. I got 6 hours into one Custodian so far, I can believe it. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how many hours you want people to put in them, right? Wapedia needs to update the base size. I guess, maybe. Wapedia isn't always accurate, right? Pacific Storm says, hey man, I got 1k Necron coming up in game on Saturday. He's bringing the Catan Void Destroyer. Any quick advice? Typically when you fight Necrons, you want to completely kill units. Because if you leave a unit with only like a handful of guys, they will resurrection protocols and bring guys back to life. And like what you need to be doing against Necrons typically is if they've got big blobs of units, is focus all your firepower into one blob is dead and then move on to the next blob. You don't want to leave units. That's kind of a general rule of thumb when you're playing against Necrons. The Catan is a bit more problematic, right? Like it just does an absolute ton of damage. If you've got any ranged firepower, the second you can see it, start weakening it up. And then basically, like, again, make sure you kill it, because typically, like, there's ways for Catans, they have living armor and stuff like this, where they can regen wounds. So commit hard to killing it when it comes up, right? Cambo says it as well, overkill the Catan, there you go. You got any las cannons or anything like that? It's usually pretty handy. We used to be able to hit it with infernal pistols. I mean, even if you think you could kill it with your melee, it might be worth just throwing grenades and everything at it, right? Like, absolutely overkill it. Is it scummy to make Tomb Keepers a Blood Angel successor chapter so I can use Librarian Dreadnought? It just seems like it was something that Tomb Keepers would have. I mean, the Librarian Dreadnought is a Legends model now, so I mean, I guess it's... it's a little bit sad. Like, a lot of people loved the Librarian Dreadnought. A lot of people loved that we had our own variants of Dreadnoughts. I mean, I guess we still have one in the Death Company Dreadnought. But, no, I mean, if you're playing Legends rules, people are usually a bit more relaxed anyway, right? Like, if someone told me they wanted a Legends game, like, most of my friends don't want to play Legends because everybody wants to play competitive all the time, and I get it because all my friends go to more tournaments than I do. You know, so it's like, but I think if someone asks you to play a Legends game, then you kind of know that it's a little bit more casual anyway, so I think it's totally fine to run any unit you want in Legends. And basically what Legends means is Games Workshop are no longer allowing that unit in competitive tournaments. Legends just means like they're not updating the data sheet, they're not trying super hard to keep them balanced, and they don't really ever phase them out of Legends, but like, you will probably encounter some people, like I said, like I've got like 5 friends that play 40k, none of them want to play Legends. One of them will, but the other 4 do not want to play Legends. And I guess it depends on how serious you are. The guy that will happily play Legends is more of a lower-based player. It makes sense, because Legends is a bit more like, have fun, take whatever you want. And then the guys that just want to play competitive, go to tournaments, they don't want to play Legends. But I mean, I think I would always be willing to play it once, right? Like I actually have only played one game of Boarding Actions. Again, a lot of my friends that just don't want to play Boarding Actions because they don't see it as competitive, you know, 10th edition, you know, super competitive 40k, which is kind of ironic because it is a little bit ironic, but yeah. I was going to say, because I've won a GT and Andrew and Colin haven't, but maybe that's why they just want to play competitive. They need the practice, whereas I've won a few tournaments, I don't need as much practice. We could go with that, right? Yes, it is White Bat. All the music that I listen to on the channel is by White Bat. He's a superstar for letting his music be used royalty free, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, if you like any of the music that you listen to on the channel, just search YouTube for White Bat. White Bat Audio, I believe. Michael says it's super bullshit that our Librarian Dreadnought has been removed. All those keyboard warriors hating on the greatest unit. I don't know if it's super bullshit. I guess... Was I a little bit sad? Yes. I guess at some point, like if you think of how old the Librarian Dreadnought is, you know, like it was... I actually cannot remember how many years I had a Librarian Dreadnought for. But like, at least... Someone tell me when the Librarian Dreadnought kit actually came out. Because I think it must have been released when I was quit 40k, because I was quit between like 2002 to maybe like 2012. Like I basically had like a 10-year break. I went to university, you know, met my wife, did all that sort of stuff. And 40k wasn't. It was like the end of 5th. So 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. So we had it. So we had the rules for like 15 years. So I think like if the Primaris Marines have rules for 15 years, I guess that's probably like, it's hard to be super upset if your model had like 15 years of play, right? I mean, it's still a little bit upsetting, don't get me wrong, right? Like, you kind of never want to lose a model that you spent time and money on. But, like, if nobody ever buys new models, then eventually Games Workshop does go out of business because no one's buying any new models. Is it cloudy and day to Scotland? I thought you were being serious for a minute, Sam. So much shade being thrown about. It was actually a lovely day here in Scotland. I was almost sweating walking home from work because see, when October comes in Scotland, you don't know what to expect. So it's like, if you open your front door in the morning and it's like dry and warm, still taking like no jacket and no umbrella is like a huge risk. So I take both. in October, so I had an umbrella and a jacket with me just because I've lived in Scotland for enough years to know that like what it looks like in the morning could be completely different by 5 o'clock. So I took both, and then it was actually really nice. I mean, I know that's not what you were insinuating at all when you said lots of shade being thrown about, but why not? Why not give you the update of the Scottish weather? Very exciting stuff here. Sounds like Iowa and USA. It's probably somewhat similar. I believe Scotland has a similar longitude, I think is the one, where it's like not up and down, left and right. Right? Longitude? I think we've got a similar longitude to like New York, if I'm correct. Raoul, maybe, wants to run 3 Brutalis Dreadnoughts, 3 Death Company Brutalis Dreadnoughts and Assault Centurions for a Bulldozer force. Chances if it'll work well. I mean, it'll smash some armies. I mean, if you're going to take 6 Toughness 10 2-up save Dreadnoughts, if they don't have great ways of dealing with Toughness 10 2-up save, then you'll just run into them with an absolute powerhouse of Dreadnoughts. So, I mean, that will crush some enemies. Like, I literally played a list recently that was just like batshit crazy Orc Boy spam. So, like, if Orc Boys of what, like, choppers? Strength 4 or Strength 5, maybe, on the WA? So if you run into that, and you've just got, like, 200 boys with choppers, it's going to work pretty darn well, because the choppers aren't going to do anything to a Toughness 10 2-up save Dreadnought. I mean, they'll do something, but they're, you know... You probably need, like, 300 chopper attacks to take down a Brutalis Dreadnought. It sounds like spring in Melbourne. I've never been to Australia, but I've got family there. I'd like to get over there one day. You know, actually, we had planned to go to visit Australia, like, in 2019. And then what happened in my wife got pregnant towards the middle of 2019, and then we had the kid at the end of 2019, and then 2020 was COVID. So I was very fortunate, like, we got the whole thing back with, like, travel insurance and stuff, but we never got to go. Speargrass, thank you so much for the 5 New Zealand dollars. I was going to say, yeah, thank goodness. Melbourne is Perth, because New Zealand is not Melbourne. I know that. I've got family in New Zealand as well, actually. They're in Auckland. But I've never been to the lower hemisphere of the world. How sad, huh? Do you feel like you're upside down, is the real question. I feel like we had a conversation about Flat Earth on another stream. We better not get into that again. I think it was Tony was saying that we need like a Flat Earth debunker for the live streams. The black market for suppressors is through the roof. So depressing that the GW doesn't produce the models. They do produce the models, Speargrass. I'll show you. Marius was talking about it a minute ago. They've got them in some stupid box that's ridiculously expensive, but they do 100% produce them, right? Hold on, Games Workshop. Right, Games Workshop Warhammer. I think what you're searching for is called Vanguard. It's this box here. The Vanguard Task Force. It's $87. I mean, that's the problem with it. But you do get... Where does it tell you again what you get? Oh, well, just look at the gallery. So you get 5 infiltrators. No, you don't. You get 10 infiltrators. I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world, actually, because infiltrators can be built as incursors or infiltrators. For Blood Angels, you do need at least 1 squad of infiltrators. You get 3 eliminators. I mean, eliminators are not great right now, but I mean, it's still nice to have eliminators. You get the Lieutenant in Reivers armor. Is that right? Or is that the Phobos Lieutenant? I actually think that's the Lieutenant in Reivers armor, but I could be wrong. No, I think you're right. I think that's the full boss lieutenant. And then you get 3 suppressors. And it costs $87. I mean, it sucks that the suppressors are the only unit in that box that don't have their own purchase alone kit or whatever. Yeah, Lieutenant and full boss, Eliminators. Apparently the Eliminators only have the sniper rifle, so it's the easy to build Eliminators, so you can't even choose to give them the Las Talons? Well, I think it's called Las Fusils, that's the one. I haven't run Las Fusils for ages. And then you get the 3 suppressors. But if I'm correct, infiltrators can be built as infiltrators or incursors, and both are good for Blood Angels. Marcus, sorry, let me get your super chat. 14 months of membership, Marcus, thank you so much. Those wives just can't stop getting pregnant. Yeah, I mean, we had our second kid during COVID, so I mean, there's not so much to do during COVID except have more babies, right? Last Fusils, thanks, Phil. Hey, Phil, how are you? Very nice to see you, Phil. How's your conversion going? Phil posted on the Discord like 4 or 5 boxes of Blood Angels and just wrote under it like, it's conversion time. And I was like, cool, Phil, what are you converting? He's like, I'm not telling. I was like, okay. What is it Frodo says? Have your secrets.
I have awoken.
What are you converting, Phil? Someone else has awoken. Hello, thank you, Nathan. Thanks so much for subscribing. How are you? Welcome to the channel. So on Wednesday nights, we either do a hobby hangout and painting, or we do a live battle. Obviously tonight there is no live battle, but next week we'll hopefully have a live battle against the Thousand Suns. And I think the week after that we'll have the Death Company army, the first instance of the Lost Brethren on the channel, because I haven't played that detachment yet. So hopefully going to have that the week after. Oh, those are easy to build infiltrators, so you can only build them as infiltrators, you can't build them as incursors? Oh, I don't know why they... That's not great, man. That was the Shadowspear box originally, right? Like, that's what that Vanguard force is. It was the force that came in the Shadowspear box. That's why if you can, it's always good to buy those big boxes, and it's always good to trade with someone, because I've got 6 suppressors. So I guess the reason I have 6 suppressors is I must have bought that Shadowspear box, traded the Chaos half for another set. So like you're kind of like damned. You're damned to have to spend a lot more money if you don't buy those starter boxes whenever they came out, right? But yeah, I guess if you don't have any suppressors and you wanted to... Yeah, suppressors are going to be expensive secondhand at the moment. I have no idea how you say that name. U-O-C-H? How do you say that phonetically? I was going to say, your name's like the sound I make when I'm like clear my throat or something. Like, I don't know how to say that. Tell me how to say it though, so I can say it. Because we got one guy in here from Ukraine, I believe, and like, oh no, it was Czech Republic. And his name is like characters that I've never seen before, but he told me how to pronounce. Look, oh, your name's literally Ouch. Okay, I'm with you. Cool. I can manage that. Malik says, hi, I'm just wondering where can I share my list with you? So basically, every Sunday we do the live show where we look at people's army lists. So all you need to do is like find last Sunday's show and put your list in the comment section. Here's the thing, Malik, we have a lot of submissions right now due to the new Codex, like I'm in the region of at least like 50, maybe even more than 50. Everybody and their mum apparently have decided to submit a list for the show at the moment, so just be aware that if you submit your list, you're probably not going to be featured for a couple of weeks. There's nothing I can do about that. I could honestly, I think, sit and review people's lists from noon till midnight on Sunday, and I wouldn't get through all the submissions that I've had. And I think if I did that, my wife would probably divorce me for ignoring her and the family all day and just looking at Warhammer stuff. So, Yes, but please, that's where you put it. Basically, on any week that there's an army list show, put your list in the comment section and I'll look at it as soon as possible. I wish you could get the Spearhead box without using your firstborn child as payment. What was the Spearhead box? That's the one with Outriders and Jump Assault Intercessors? I mean, there's nothing in the Spearhead box you can't just buy outright, right? Mike's gonna get his mum to submit a list now. Okay. That's something that we say in Scotland. It's maybe a Scottish thing. Like, it just basically means if you say everybody and their mum, that just means everybody, like all the people all the time. It's probably a Scottish thing. It's probably slang. You know, like, it'd be like saying, like, everybody and their mum's gonna watch the football game this weekend, which means, like, their chances of getting tickets to go see the football are nothing because everybody is watching, right? Is it a bad that I'm running a knight, suppressors, and reivers in one list? What knight are you running, Cambo? I actually think suppressors could actually be pretty useful. I hadn't considered yet if I was changing my list to get a squad of them in. I do think that I think they were interesting at 85 points, honestly, so I think they're somewhat even more interesting at 75 points. Especially with Jump Assault Intercessors going up a little bit as well. I think just before I went to the GT, I had thought to myself that I was going to try Outriders, and I was going to try... And if I didn't like the Outriders, I was going to try Suppressors. And if I didn't like Suppressors, I honestly don't know what I was going to try. Maybe fall back to the sort of status quo of like 3 units of Scouts. But I played and really liked the Outriders. I liked the Outriders so much so I took that list to the GT and I won a GT with it. But I'm pretty sure that I'd kind of in my brain been like... I put the Outriders in the list expecting not to like the Outriders, actually. And then thought like, I'll probably try the Outriders first because I think I will actually like the Suppressors. So yeah, I need to get a game or two with the Suppressors in the coming weeks. They might actually be good against Miles Thousand Suns just because the -1 to hit. It was in Hot Fuzz as well. Probably, yeah, because maybe it's a British thing then, I guess. Simon Pegg plays Scottish characters in movies because he played Scotty in Star Trek, but he is not Scottish. And I like Simon Pegg as an actor, but damn you if you're going to steal Scottish jobs. How dare you steal a Scottish job? How dare you, Simon Pegg? I like you. I thought you did okay as Scotty. Accent wasn't the greatest. But how dare you steal a Scottish job? Snicks, I was lucky and scored the Spearhead box for 120 quid. What's so good about the Spearhead box? I thought it was just 3 units of Jump Intercessors, a unit of Outriders, and ATV. Is it just because it's cheap or what? Canis Rex is what Cambo was fielding. Canis Rex got a bit of a nerf, right? He got put up in points. Are you going to try ATVs, John? I would rather try the Suppressors before I try ATVs. I mean, an ATV costs the same points as an attack bike. The original Scotty wasn't Scottish. How dare you correct me, Trucker Jug? He was a Canadian, and he was stealing Scottish jobs as well. I mean, I really do like the original actor. Holy shit! It's been a hot minute since I watched Star Trek: The Original Series. Is his name? Don't tell me it's like it's Doulahan or something. He's got straight. It's not like Jamie O'Doulahan or something. James Doohan. There we go. I was really close. Yeah, I mean, I used to watch Star Trek: The Original Series with my dad, and that would have been like in the early 90s. Yeah, he did steal a Scottish job as well, but I love the original Scotty. I don't know how anyone could not love the original Scotty, but yeah, he did still steal a Scottish job. Damn him. Us Scots got to stay together. Frank says I have a better Scottish accent than Simon Pegg. I think everybody does. But I mean, I did still like Simon Pegg in the new Star Wars movie. He was in Star Wars. Sorry, he's in Star Trek. Star Wars. He was in Star Wars as well.
I have awoken.
Greetings, Alex. How are you doing? Espana, hello, how you doing? The 7th string, thank you so much for the $2 Canadian. Are Hellblasters or Inceptors for fire support with Lancer? Are Hellblast or Inceptors? I guess you're saying like what, you've already got a Gladiator Lancer and you want to add Hellblasters or Inceptors? Let me think for a second. So, I mean, Inceptors are probably the better pick for Blood Angels because I was going to say, I mean, they move around, they deep strike in, they're a bit more durable with the Gravis. What, the Hellblasters, you can put an Impulsor. Impulsors do have firing decks, so you could do that. Plasma's fire support is a bit of an interesting question, though, right? Because Plasma... Do you know what? I would actually take the Inceptors, and the reason that I take the Inceptors, I think, is because their Plasma's twin-linked. And I think there is something to be said, like, Plasma's only Strength 8, or at least, like, I know you sometimes get Strength 9 Plasmas on, like, a Redemptor Dreadnought, but the Hellblasters and the Inceptors are only Strength 8 Plasma. I think sometimes when you have a plasma unit as quote-unquote fire support, you will have to shoot at something that is like toughness 10. And I just think if your Hellblasters are shooting the toughness 10, you're only wounding 33% of the time because you only wound on 5s. If you are twin-linked, that increases to 55% because it's like 33% of 33%, basically. So yeah, my personal preference would probably be if I only could run one unit of Hellblast. I think a unit of Hellblasters is a little bit cheaper than a unit of Inceptors. But then I think the Inceptors are more versatile, right? They can come down, they can threaten the backfield, they can deep strike within 3 inches. They've got those twin linked on them as well. And then they're in Gravis, which just gives them the extra wound and a little bit more durability. I think my choice would be Inceptors. And I honestly think, like, if we go and look at, like, Blood Angels tournament lists over the last, like, year, maybe year and a half, there's not many tournament lists that are won. Not many people win tournaments with Blood Angels using Hellblasters. It's just, like, I've got 10 Hellblasters painted. Bottom line is, they literally never see the table in competitive play. I actually kind of hate it when Games Workshop do that, where they have a unit that never sees the table in competitive play, and, you know, like, it's just... There's a few units like that are sort of left in the dirt, so to speak, to rot and never get any play, but it does happen, and Hellblasters get some play in other detachments, but they don't see a whole heap of play in Blood Angels, whereas Inceptors, I think, like, I've gone to tournaments multiple times taking Inceptors as Blood Angels. I've never taken Hellblasters. Glenn says, hey dude, got the new Combat Patrol today and the Death Company conversion begins. There you go. That's awesome, Glenn. How did it... A lot of people have got this Combat Patrol, like, way too early. Like, it's not supposed to be out until next Saturday, right? If you got it today, don't tell anyone who sent it to you. Dante plus Reivers for the -2 buff. I don't know if I feel it's impactful enough. Honestly, like, Battleshock just... Dante's Battleshock aura does not feel impactful enough. I swear to you, it does not feel impactful enough. Hold on a second. Look at all these crazies with the super chats. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Via super chat. As a new community member, I am very thankful for you giving us your time, your passion and guidance with Blood Angels BA.
Oh.
Thank you.
Matthew, you are so welcome. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel the way you have in the last month. It's very, very much appreciated. This is my hobby now, right? Well, I mean, my hobby before was Blood Angels, but my hobby now is making videos and hanging out with you guys, right? Like, that is my hobby now, because speaking of, you know, like, people always ask me at my job because, like, you know, have you played this new video game? Have you played this new video game? Because, like, I guess I used to play a lot of video games. I don't really... Occasionally I do play video games. And I do still like video games, but I was like... For a while there, I was telling people, like, oh, I don't play the new video games because I'm always making YouTube content. But, like, I guess over the last year or so, I don't really see YouTube content. Like, it's my hobby now, right? Like my hobby is I enjoy making videos, I enjoy making content. Maybe it's that stupid thing that people always say that's super cheesy, like, what is it they say, like, love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life or something like that. So I just love Blood Angels, I love getting my models finished, I feel like I'm pretty good at crushing people on the battlefield as well. So I just love everything about it. And then I love hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for the 20. Do appreciate it. Right before that, Cambo says, make Reivers and Suppressors meta again. I wish that they would give Reivers 1 AP. I would be willing to run Reivers if they had 1 AP, because I actually think they might be kind of interesting at 1 AP. At that point, they're basically assault intercessors, but with like a sort of like pseudo-Nito battleshock trick. But I think when you put them on 0 AP, I feel like there's just too many times where they just don't do the damage you need them to do on 0 AP. You know, like there's too many times they'll come into an enemy unit, and with 0 AP they just bounce, man. But I would actually love to see some more people playing suppressors. Look, I've got one right here. So maybe once I've finished these 2 Death Company with Eviscerators, because I'm desperate to get these guys done, Abaddon could fail 50%. Yeah, but it never seems to happen. And here's the thing, like, I have Dante in every single one of my games, and I've been playing Dante since June, right? Because, like, well, I've actually been playing Dante since before June. I've been playing, because I took him to the GT at the end of June, and I had like 6 games under my belt with him at that point. So I've been playing Dante now since probably like the middle of May, and I feel like there's been like 2 times in like 20 or 30 games that his battleshock aura has been meaningful. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's impactful enough. And you know, maybe my opponents always roll really well against Dante's battleshock aura. It could be that, but my experience tells me that Dante's battleshock aura is never that useful. It feels like, even though it's -1. It just never seems to be that useful. I know that the Reivers bolt pistols are AP1, but I mean, so are the Assault Intercessors bolt pistols, and I feel like they never kill anything. Killing orcs boys level data sheets isn't exactly a high bar. Sorry, I lost the plot about orc. What are we talking about, orc boys? 10 Hellblasters roll up to the midboard, jump out a repulsor, and absolutely wipe a 10 squad of looters. Yeah, I mean, Hellblasters don't have the worst AP. You know, I think if you overcharge them, they're an AP3, right? There's not many Marine units that have AP3. So maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on the Hellblasters. I don't necessarily think Hellblasters are bad, and I think they're good for some detachments. But I do think that, I think they're pretty legit in Dark Angels. I do think we just haven't seen many Blood Angels players winning tournaments with Hellblasters. I think that would be the more accurate way to describe it. Like, are Hellblasters a bad or a weak unit? Not necessarily, but do we see Blood Angels players winning tournaments with Hellblasters? No, we don't. So why is that? I guess because people think other units are stronger. But for Blood Angels, it's a weird one, right? Because you're so... you need every point you can for melee units. So when you start talking about, like, what ranged units are you going to have, the usual de facto argument on those range units is, like, well, you want to have, like, las cannons or gladiator lancers. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you pair the Hellblasters with Azrael, they get a 4-up invuln save, right? Which is just super good. And I think they get, like, an Overwatch buff, I believe, Ordomander. I can't remember what their Overwatch buff is, but I think Azrael lets them... I can't remember what it is, but I believe they're very good in Overwatch again with Azrael. I played Dark Angels with Azrael and Hellblasters at a tournament, and I was so scared of the Hellblasters, honestly. I think I hid from them quite a lot. I mean, that's the bonus of Blood Angels, is you can jump from cover to cover and hide, right? Ambo, I'm with you. If the Reivers even had like anti-infantry, right? If their weapons were anti-infantry, maybe I'd be interested in them as well. Hello, Highland Phoenix, how you doing? Do a video re-looking at Reivers. I might. Do you think people would watch it? Do you not think most people just do what I do and say Reivers are dog shit? Azrael gives them sustained hits. Yeah, so I guess the sustained hits proc on the Overwatch, and if you've got Oath of Moment, they could actually be pretty good. Top 5 ranked Blood Angel player plays Reivers. Maybe. I just don't know if I feel Battleshock's impactful enough. Like, I played against Chaos Knights, and they have like this army-wide Battleshock thing that's just procking off like every turn, and I still don't know if I feel it's impactful enough. Glenn's picking up his Armigers. They're a great unit for 150 points, 12 inches, high OC, plus the ranged melee weapons. They're insanely strong. I think Armigers are in a pretty good spot right now. The Warglavies, anyway. Especially, I really like that their Meltas are still strength 12, and they also have Melta 4. I think that's really good. What's good, G Money? How are you? I'm too deep into the maths. Reivers are a win. Okay. I mean, I think even though Assault Intercessors are 15 points more, I think I would like literally always pick Assault Intercessors over Reivers. And I love how Reivers look. They've got one of the coolest aesthetics in all of the Space Marines, and they fit super well for Blood Angels with their death masks, or they've got like skull masks. Any idea on a fun Crusade list? Unfortunately, I have not played Crusade for a few editions, dude. I think if you wanted a fun Crusade list, I think there's a channel on our Discord. If you type !Discord, you'll see our invite link to our Discord. There's like 1,000, I think it's probably more than 1,000. I think there was 1,000 a few months ago. Probably a couple of thousand in there now. I think there's a whole channel dedicated to Crusade in the Discord, so maybe someone in the Discord can help you out with the Crusade list. But yeah, I haven't... My hands are kind of full with like painting models and trying to win tournaments and doing the tactics videos. So yeah, Crusade is something that I must admit I have not covered at all. I want to play more boarding actions, and I mean, I guess boarding actions is a bit more of a narrative game mode type thing. But no, I haven't touched Crusade, I'm afraid. Reivers in an Impulsor get a scout move. We're really going to have to try Reivers, aren't we? I can't believe you guys are going to make me do Reivers. Like, I think you guys are clutching at straws, I really do, but I mean, I could try them. I mean, I suppose if you really want to break it down, I didn't want to run Outriders, and I ended up winning a GT with them, so I mean, I guess there could be something there. Just, my experience with the battleshock mechanic that Dante has, that -1 battleshock, it's really temperamental, it feels like. Like, when you want it to go off, it never goes off. When you don't want it to go off and it has no value, that's when it goes off. I would pick 3 units of suppressors over Reivers, says Rambo. Look at Rambo's in the house. That's because you like bow and arrows, Rambo. We'll get those bow and arrows out, give them to the suppressors. No, I would probably prefer 3 units of suppressors over Reivers. I just think that I like my units to be able to do multiple things, right? And I guess that's probably why I like Impulsors, because Impulsors Scout, kill, and protect. Outriders, scout, can do a bit of killing but can survive. Jump intercessors don't really survive, but they do scout and kill. So it's like units that can do multiple things are the kind of things that I like to pick, I guess. I just don't know what Reivers do. They scout, maybe? I don't think they kill. And occasionally the opponent fails a battleshock. Hello War Thunder, I'm about to build my Land Raider Crusader Redeemer variant. Which is better for Blood Angels?
I have awoken.
Hello Munted, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. What is better? So, it's a tough one. The Crusader doesn't have great weaponry right now. Like, it's got lots and lots of bolters, but the bolters aren't that impactful. So then you're starting to think about the Redeemer, but the Redeemer was very, very good, and you could argue is still good, but they've basically nerfed it by putting its points up a lot. So it's like, if you take the Redeemer, you're paying a bit of a premium for it. Unfortunately, what typically has been happening now for a while is when they nerf something's points, they very, very rarely budge backwards on it. Right? For example, like, look at Desolation Marines. Like, I think Desolation Marines were good at like 140 points. At 170 points, like, no one was playing them. Like, maybe like one or two people were holding on to them for dear life, but barely anyone was playing them. And then the balance statusly after that, they just went, alright, they're 200 points. And like, it went from like very, very few people playing them to even less. Like, nobody plays Desolation Marines right now. I kind of want to say no one's played Desolation Marines for about a year at this point. It'd be really interesting to know when they went up to 200 points, but since they've been at 200 points, no one has played Desolation Marines. I've never run into them one time. I haven't even considered taking them, but then they just get left at like 200 points. And, I mean, Games Workshop said in one of those, whatchamacall them, the Meta Watch videos, they were like, we don't like nerfing units into oblivion so no one picks them or no one plays them anymore. And I'm like, literally watching that video going, that's precisely what you did with the Desolation Marines, and we've been, like, I bought 10 of the fuckers, and I started painting them, and I spent a bunch of time on them. I actually bought 15 of them and gave 5 of them away for free because they got nerfed that badly. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have bought 15 of them, but they were very powerful. And it's not like me to, ignore a really powerful unit, I guess, right? I like to win games. It's not like I chase the meta, I only play one army, right? But yeah, so they put Desolation Marines up to like 200 points, and they've been there now for probably, if it's not 9 months, it'd be like, if it's not a year, it's like 9 months. So the same thing's probably going to happen to the Land Raider Redeemer. Like, the Land Raider Redeemer is now at 285 points. Very few people are running it at 285 points. I think it's kind of horrifically expensive. It's just going to linger there for an indeterminate period of time. They could have honestly brought it down 10 points in this balanced data slate, and I still think very few people would have suddenly picked it back up at 275. So yeah, the Crusader Redeemer is a tough choice to recommend right now. The Redeemer is the one that's probably, like, if we go into new edition and they reset the clock, so to speak, and everything gets new rules, the Redeemer is probably going to be the better of the two, right? Because, like, lots of flamers, AP2 flamers is generally better than a bunch of bolter shots. I have not thought about the Whirlwind, actually, Highland Phoenix, since they nerfed that as well. That's another good example of a unit that got nerfed really hard and then has just been left nerfed really hard. I really hate the hard nerfs like that just take stuff out. Because, like, my thought, and I could be wrong here, I mean, I am wrong quite a bit in my, in my general life. But my thought is that any unit that's getting no competitive play. And they should probably know what units are getting 0 competitive play, right? They've surely got the data. Like, is anyone... Here's a question, right? In chat, how many people we got right now? We've got 101 people. Alright, let's do a poll. Let's do a fun poll here. Who has ever included or fought against, and please be honest, alright, please be honest. There you go. Who has ever included or fought against a Firestrike servo turret? Be honest. Honesty is the best policy. In basically every part of life, honesty is the best policy. Trust me on that. Cambo, I used to run too. Get out of here, Cambo. That's it. That's it. You've let the side down. I bought one. I made it. I sprayed it. Like... Do you know what? I was going to say like 18 months ago. It's not 18 months ago because I moved house 3 years ago and I had it in my old house, I think. So I've had mine for 3 years, and I've never played with it once. We just didn't buy a Hammerfall bunker, right? Rambo says he's never even seen the fucker till now. There we go. You like to go for stupid things and make them work, hence the Reaver discussion. Okay. Good to know. So I don't actually need to make a video on Reivers. It's just a stupid pipe dream, is it? How many votes did we get? We got 47 votes. So 5 people, do you know what? It's more than I expected. 5 people have fought against or included a Firestrike servo turret. Wow. I should have actually changed the question to more than a few times, right? Rigid Jarl played it once. Once more than me, I guess. The poor Hammerfall bunker. Mike votes for the Reaver video. Ugh. Ugh. Reivers, man. What am I even doing in the Reaver video? Alright, we know they've got no AP. I guess they're cheap and they can perform actions. I mean, they're 10 points more expensive than Scouts. Are they better than Scouts? You know? Scouts you can lift up every turn and put down somewhere else on the board. Snicks once fought a Kratos tank. It went down T2 to my 1,000 Suns, but it was there. Oh right, went down turn 2, okay. Do you know what, I never actually got to play against a Kratos tank. I was at a tournament where the guy next to me was playing Blood Angels, so I was at the tournament obviously playing Blood Angels, the guy next to me was playing Blood Angels, and he had a Kratos tank in his list. I thought that was quite cool. I thought it was a cool looking tank. It's I almost bought one, to be honest. I'm glad I didn't though. I hate buying stuff that goes into Legends. They have precision, I guess. We're reaching. That's why I think they'd be good if they had 1 AP. That's the same as like the Infernus Marines. Like, I think if Infernus Marines had 1 AP, I might be interested in them. I mean, it's a lot of flamer shots. It's a lot of high-strength flamer shots. Mike says he hates painting stuff for me that goes into Legends. Yeah, I mean, it's fun, isn't it, Mike? A poll on the Reaver video. But you guys are trolling me. I'm gonna have to make like a 5-minute Reaver video. I don't... It's ironic because I would like them to be good. Highland Phoenix says I almost prefer Reivers with the carbines, not the pistol and the knives. Does the carbine have any AP these days, or is it still AP 0? Could I fill 5 minutes? This must be put to a democratic vote. Jeez, oh. I'm gonna get Donald Trump out here in a minute and say, like... I don't know if I can impersonate Trump, but I do know that he will say something like, these are the best Reivers that we've ever had. No one else has had Reivers quite like our Reivers. I know very little about US politics, but I do know that a lot of people make fun of Trump. Alright, engage with your audience. Do we really need to make a Reivers video? I can't even spell Reivers. R-E-I-V-E-R-S. I before E except after C. I think that looks wrong though. Surely it's R-E-I. We do not need to make the Reivers video. Option number 2. Okay, fine. There's your poll. Thoughts on the Reaver Lieutenant? A Phobos. You guys are crazy. I mean, I guess I'll make some sort of Reivers video. Really? Reportable. Mars Miller says, make a Reaver video. No script, just talk for 10 minutes and upload it. I mean, you think my videos have scripts? I actually used to script every video. I don't script as much. I make bullet points now. And try, because if I'm reading for a script, it feels so unnatural. It's like, hello, my name is John. But I did script everything at the start because obviously I was unconfident? Inconfident? No. I didn't. Is there a negative to confident? I had no confidence basically at the start, I suppose. So yeah, like the first videos on my channel, which are arguably my worst videos, were all like really heavily scripted. And you know what? I did all that. Nowadays, you can just ask ChatGPT to write you a script. It's crazy what you can ask ChatGPT to do. The poll is hella rigged. Yeah, the poll was rigged. I'll make your damn Reivers video, okay? How do you feel about Terminators with a captain and an ancient? And Rage-Fueled Warrior and reroll charges and the ancient with Speed of the Primarch and +1 to OC. Do you know what? It's you make a good point, Michael, that we don't talk about enough on this channel, I suppose, is that like with the new enhancements, there's a few squads of guys where you could basically take 2 enhancements on one squad, right? A good example might be, like what you just said, you've got Terminators with the Terminator Captain having the Rage, and then you could have like the Terminator Ancient with the Fight First. So you've got Rage and Fight First on the squad of Terminators, which is pretty neat, right? But the other one you could do it with would be like I was gonna say, like, if a character could... What could you attack? You could do the same with the Blade Guard, right? You could put a Captain and an Ancient with the Blade Guard. And then the Blade Guard could have both the Rage and Fight First. I was trying to think if there's a way you could do 12 Terminators is expensive. I mean, sure it is, but you still rapid ingress it. You can advance and charge. You know, Dante plus 10 Sangry Guard is expensive these days, or 6 Sangry Guard, sorry, is expensive these days. Is there any, like, 10 Assault Intercessors with the Rage Captain and the Sangry Priest with Fight First? That could be an option, but we don't, it's something that we haven't really talked about much, is like units that have 2 characters attached and 2 relics, or I keep wanting to call them relics, I guess they're called enhancements now, but they used to be called relics, right? So like we haven't talked much about those. I guess we don't see many people including them, but how do I feel about it? I think there is space now in Blood Angels 100% to run Terminators, and I think, like, because I was talking about this in Discord like yesterday and talking to somebody saying like, it's because someone was saying to me, they're like, I'm running 5 Terminators, I'm feeling pretty good about it. And I was like, oh, cool. Or I think that conversation actually went like, I'm running Terminators, I think they're pretty strong and they always do some work for me. And I was like, oh, so you're running like 5? And he was like, no, I'm running 10 Terminators and I'm rapid ingressing them and I'm putting them in the center of the board. And like with 10 Terminators, with rapid ingress and with Fight First, they just seem to be able to do quite a lot of work. And I was like, oh, so there probably is some play in the 10 Terminator squad. Right before I came on the stream, actually, someone was asking on Reddit, because I do read the Blood Angels Reddit like most days. So I'm going to say, don't tell my boss, I read Reddit sometimes when I'm bored at work. I was reading a Reddit post that was like, are Terminators good for Blood Angels? And I think that the Assault Terminators are kind of still bad. Like, I think the Assault Terminators should still be cheaper. I think the regular Terminators are actually really quite interesting. I think they're quite powerful. I think you could attach characters to them. How do you even get a Terminator Ancient? I don't know how you get him. He used to be able to make him from the Blood Angels Assault Terminator box. I think they still sell that box, do they? The Ancient gives you OC, which gives you OC7 when you're battleshocked. Or OC12 if you've got the 10 man, I suppose. What's the preferred Terminator loadout now? I think it's Power Fists, man. Because I think Power Fists are the like general weapon that are good against everything. The Chain Fists, you have to give up one of your weapon skill for the Chain Fist, and I don't think it's worth it. I think you're better with the Power Fist. The Chain Fists will be decent if you fight armor, but the Power Fists are just decent against everything. Right, so I think if I had to, like, I mean, I play Terminators a bit. I've played them at tournaments a bit in the last couple of years. I think I would, if I'm running Terminators, I think I'm running them with Chain Fists, 100%. Sorry, not Chain Fist. You're confusing me now. Power Fists. Run them with Power Fists. Every guy with a Power Fist. The Ancient is technically only available for the Japanese series of models. I mean, you used to build the Ancient from the box though, right? The Assault Terminator box comes with a banner, and from the banner you build the Ancient. Is that not right? Because, I mean, I've got 2 Ancients, and I never bought a Terminator Ancient. I think I bought a bunch of the Assault Terminator boxes. Make a post out of a sprue and print a banner on paper and glue it on. Profit. Yeah, I mean, the other thing you could do is you could buy your kids some lollipops or something, and you could use a lollipop stick or something. I don't know. The other thing that I've sometimes done is this. Like, a lot of people had a lot of kits of Sangre Guard, right? Like, I've used the Sangre Guard banner to make one of my Terminator Ancients. I was gonna say, I think I've got them right here. Yeah, so this is the Librarian Terminator from the Leviathan box. No. Yeah, the Leviathan box. So this is the Librarian Terminator from the Leviathan box. I didn't put the Librarian headpiece on him, I just put like a regular Terminator headpiece on him. You can tell it's Librarian because of his gun arm and his long purity seals, but that's just a Sangre Guard banner. So I had a spare Sangre Guard banner. It just says Blood Angels on it. I mean, it's got a picture of the Sangre Guard. I don't think it really matters. You can tell, look, he's got a tiny little hand. Because obviously the Sangre Guard have a much smaller hand than the Terminator. So if you really want to look, he has a tiny little Terminator hand. You like Terminators with the Primaris helmet though, Jim, don't you? That's the best. If you've not made a Terminator with a Primaris helmet, have you even lived? Is my question. Have you even lived if you don't made a Terminator with a Primaris helmet? The new Terminators would fit the Primaris helmets even better because they're bigger models, right? Did I miss the super chat? Sorry, did I thanked everybody for the super chat. If I didn't, I'm sure I did. If I missed the super chat, I'm sorry. It's been a fun stream tonight. It's been a bit all over the place. I thought the Ancient was available in the Blood Angels Terminator box. Yeah, but I mean, does this guy look so wrong? I mean, because I traded my half of the Tyranids from the Leviathan box to get another one, I figured I didn't need 2 Librarians. So I figured I'd just convert one of the Librarians. I actually played this guy in my company Heroes. So this guy was actually, like, at the tournament I went to, I fielded this guy as the company hero guy, the Ancient in the company Heroes, because I never bought the company Heroes. Company Heroes are on 40mm bases, so this was the right size. I like to have my models more painted than that for going to tournaments, but I mean, sometimes needs must, right? I think I only switched to the company Heroes like maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the tournament, because I was trying to figure out a list, and that's what I ended up. Hello, Mr. Kazumi. Good morning. For a 5-man Death Company squad, would you run one of the new HQs or the standard Jump Pack Chaplain for less points? I think if you're running the 5-man squad, I would run the standard Jump Pack Chaplain because he is, like you said, pretty cheap. 205 points, I believe it is, for 5 Death Company plus the Jump Pack Chaplain. I think it's totally fine to run them like that. I think that they are actually still pretty efficient. And I think they can still do like 40 something damage for a 205 point unit with jump packs. So I think a lot of people have actually written off that 5-man Death Company because it went up in points. But I actually think it's still legitimately good. I'm going to cover it in this week's tactics video with a host of other things because I'm covering a lot. This week's tactics video is going to be like, I want to say it's going to be like 45 minutes long. It's going to be a beast. Sometimes I try and optimize the length of my videos because obviously YouTube likes all this optimized content and stuff in the algorithm, but then sometimes it's like, I've got a lot to say. So this week's tactics video is going to be a beastie. It's going to be like, grab yourself a beer on Friday night, or put the kettle on or something, strap in for 45 minutes. Put the wolf head on all the Terminators. That gets a lot of heat. You put wolf head on Blood Angels Terminators? Do you know what? I haven't actually really looked at the Crimson Lord helmets for Terminators. And I do still have some Terminators to make, so maybe I'll get round to them. If anyone's got their Crimson Lord bits and they make some Terminators, I'd love to see some Crimson Lord Terminators, because I made these two guys, and I made like a jump pack captain with the Crimson Lord bits. Where's the jump pack captain? I think he's lying here. This was the jump pack captain I made with the Crimson Lord bits. I was going to paint him red, actually. Sometimes I paint my jump captains gold or black for Death Company, but I was actually going to paint this as a red captain, because I actually don't have that many red captains. I really like the wings. I think the wings help it a lot. I went double axes. I know you can't really have double axes, but I thought it looked cool. And sometimes rule of cool wins the day for me, right? Are basic Land Raiders useful as anti-tank transports for Blood Angels? Yes, they are. They are also bullet magnets, because they are big and nasty, and the one thing that the Land Raiders do not have is an invulnerable save. So if the opponent has like some really nasty high AP weaponry, they can be kind of vulnerable and they can be kind of expensive, so I put my Wolfguard Terminator. I put them on Wolfguard Terminators, and guess putting them on the Blood Angels Terminators would get. Why do people not like wolf helms on Wolfguard Terminators? That seems like that would be. That seems like that should be fine to do. But hey, it's your army, man. Don't let other people's dictate how you make your models. Make them your way. I'm always somebody that likes uniqueness. I think there's something cool about being unique, you know? If I let everybody that told... You know, I was going to say, when I started the Blood Angels channel, I had plenty of people tell me that, like, silly things like, because of my army lists don't conform to the normal status quo of Blood Angels. Like, I run, like, lots of shooting units, and people didn't like that, and people would tell me I didn't know what I was doing, and people would tell me that, are you even Blood Angels if you include Dreadnoughts on your lists and stuff like that, and I just ignored them, right? Like, there's always going to be people that are negative about the things you're doing. Like, you know, you can listen to them or you can just ignore them. What do you guys think about the output survivability Terminators with a Librarian or Chaplain in Terminator armor? So I've been covering that. I've been actually making some slides on that this week. Rebellious. So it's a good question, and it's something that I'm going to cover on Friday's video in a bit more depth. But like, my thought is, if you want to take the fight first enhancement, take the Chaplain. If you're not going fight first and you're going like to try and be more offensive, take the Librarian. But like, I think they're both pretty good choices. I think both units are pretty strong. I like both characters. I would happily run either, but I think there is a clear advantage to the Chaplain for the fight first. I think there's sort of a clear advantage to the Librarian if you're going to be the aggressor, because if you are the aggressor, you can use Red Rampage on top of the sustain from Librarian, so you can maximize both ways, right? Dustin's been rocking Company Heroes since 9th edition. Well, I only picked them up like 3 months ago, Dustin, and they've been they really surprised a lot of my opponents. I don't think many people have played against the Company Heroes. Deathblast says, your channel got me into Blood Angels and Warhammer. Thanks, Deathblast. What's the painting tool you're using in front of your face? It's a magnifying glass, dude. I mean, my eyesight isn't the greatest anyway, but this is a 300% magnifying glass with an LED in it. So if you look at the size of the model, and then you put it... Obviously, there's a perfect reflection off the light above me, but, you know, I'm not seeing that. But yeah, it's basically... It's going to magnify 300%. So, takes a little while to get used to painting with a magnifying glass, but honestly, once you get used to it, you'll find it very difficult to go back, because it just lets you... And obviously, because you're looking at it like that, the light hitting it from the ring means the whole model is really nicely illuminated. So you can see all the nooks and crannies, you can see all the imperfections. Only downside, I think, to painting... Well, I suppose there's two downsides. One is it's very difficult to paint without it after you get used to it. Because it like I said, my vision isn't the greatest anyway. So this really helps me. But it also does mean that, like, you may end up painting some things or some parts that the naked eye are not going to see all that well. But usually what it does mean is when I look at my models with the naked eye, I'm really happy with them because I've touched them up almost too far because I've been looking at them under the magnifying glass, if that makes sense. I was going to say, I wonder if you can see how much of a magnify my glasses give me. Because I'm short-sighted, I need glasses. Like, I can't read text without glasses. How do you feel about the Calidus Assassin to shut down strats? I feel like she's much more difficult to play with the new rules they've given her, right? Because now she needs to be within 12 inches of the enemy using the stratagem. I think it's much weaker than it was. I was using the Calidus Assassin a bit before they made the changes, and since they've made the changes, I don't think I've fielded her one time. And I have actually played against her since the changes, and I didn't think she was that impactful. I'm a +6 on my glasses. I'm plus something. I know that I can't really read text. Well, I mean, like, if I scrunch my face up, sometimes I can read text. I know if I've got my phone in my bed, for example, like sometimes I like to put something on my phone as I'm going to bed, like some music or something. I can't read my phone if I'm lying in bed without my glasses. The Chappie is better. Well, I mean, I think they're both good, right? I think they both have different situations. The Eversor Assassin is Highland Phoenix's favourite at the moment. How do we feel about the Vindicator Assassin? My thought with the Vindicator Assassin is he's always kind of swingy, right? Like, some games you'll snipe something off and it'll be really effective, and then the very next game you'll do nothing. I don't know, I'm not really... I know you can include assassins, obviously, but, like, I just haven't been using them. I didn't use them, like, for a hot minute before the new Codex, and I haven't really been using them since. I think the last time I used them was before they nerfed the Calidus Assassin ability. The new points are pretty harsh. Yeah, I mean, they put the points up and they made the Vect much harder to use, I guess. I was supposed to be getting a game against the Imperial Agents, but I haven't done that yet, so maybe when I get that game, I'll be able to give you feedback on how I feel about them. I like the feel no pain against the Mortals and the +1 wound over the Librarian, personally. Yeah, I mean, the +1 to wound is very strong. The Librarian just gives you the most damage potential, but the chances of you getting the most damage potential are a little bit harder. Rebellion really hopes to bring back the Librarian Dreadnought. I think a lot of people would like to see our custom Dreadnoughts back at some point. I feel a little bit sad that the custom Dreadnoughts were like... I don't want to say so lazily done, as in, like, they literally had no custom parts this time round. Like, the Death Company Dreadnought is literally just a Brutalis Dreadnought. But I don't know what else to say, right? Like, I like it when the Dreadnoughts, the custom Dreadnoughts, were all unique looking. And you can tell that Blood Angels players like it as well, because look at how much money that Grey Tide Studios Kickstarter did. They did like $120,000. So Blood Angels players obviously like custom Blood Angels pieces. We've had them for many years, so losing them kind of sucks. I just realised that your new Death Company Dreadnought is basically Primaris Murderfang. Well, I just can't see how the Death Company Dreadnought is really any better than the Brutalis Dreadnought when the Brutalis Dreadnought's 20 points cheaper, man. Like, I think for the most part, I think I would just run the Brutalis Dreadnought, right? There's nothing on that Death Company Dreadnought that makes me go like, oh shit, I need to field that Death Company Dreadnought. There's just nothing. Sternguard with Sanguinary Priest. I mean, it's interesting, Highland Phoenix. I'm not sure if it's good, but I think it's a way you could play Sternguard. And sometimes when you play unorthodox things, your opponents don't know how to deal with them, and that can win you games just because your opponents don't know how to deal with them. Painted it for Death Company for the flavour. I mean, I already did that with one of my Redemptor Dreadnoughts. I painted it Death Company flavour. And I mean, they do look cool in the black. I was actually thinking at some point I might do one of the new... Like, I call them the Redemptor chassis, because I don't really know if they have a specific name. But I was thinking at some point I might actually do a Redemptor chassis. With... like gold, like a gold Redemptor. Just because I thought that would look pretty neat. And it would just, like, you know, once you've painted 3 Redemptors, and, like, I got 2 Ballistuses, and 2 Brutalises, like, at some point, like, that's a lot of Dreadnoughts to have painted red in a small period of time. Jim said he's surprised at the Sternguard Priest potential. I mean, I guess it just makes them... It basically just makes them like have chainswords, I guess. The Priest's AP bonus was always really strong. It's just sad the Priest only has very few options you could attach to. Here's the real question though, and I was thinking about this afterwards. If they had let Sanguinary Priests attach to Bladeguard, obviously they didn't. If they had, would he have been a stronger pick than the Chaplain? Because I think the Chaplain with Bladeguard is borderline bonkers. Like, Fright First Chaplain with the Bladeguard, I think is possibly one of the strongest combos that we can run right now. Like, I think I prefer it to Sangry Guard with a Fight First Captain. Like, I think they do more damage in the Sangry Guard than the Fight First. as soon as you do a Sanguinary Dread, the Custodes will get their golden Dreadnought. Have you seen my custom Rebute model? Not telling. Because I was making like, I don't know if they're gonna do it this edition, but at the end of 9th edition, they did the season, or they did a 6-month. I guess you call it a season. I forget what you call it. I think it was a season. They did that Arcs of Omen season, where like for the one season, which was basically 6 months, you were allowed to take allied units from all the Space Marine chapters. So you're allowed to include Rebute Guilliman in your Blood Angels list. And he made his aura stacked with Blood Angels. So all Blood Angels within 12 inches of Guilliman got to reroll hits of 1 and got to add 1 to your charge roll, which stacked with your Red Thirst. So basically all your Blood Angels within 12 inches, and Guilliman had this giant aura, I guess. Got +2 to charge. Arcs of Omen. Arcs of Oman. Yeah, maybe. It was hella fun though, wasn't it? Oh, where's he gone? So unfortunately, because the season was only 6 months long, I didn't quite finish him. But this was going to be Roboto Gillinaut. So I chopped his Custodian arm off and replaced it with like the Power Fist from a Firstborn arm, because Guilliman has an arm that has the Emperor's Fist, I think it's called. Guilliman also has a Stormbolter, so we've got Stormbolter on there. And then Guilliman has the Sword of the Emperor. Well, in this case, it's the Spear of the Emperor, essentially. That's actually the right size base for Guilliman as well. So this was and he's got a cape. Look at this shit. So this was Roboto Gillinaut, and obviously he's a fair way from finished. But I did run him to GT, and he was actually ridiculous. Because in 9th edition, auras didn't affect vehicles, right? Except Guilliman's aura was written... Ultramarines never got a Codex in 9th edition, so they were still using the 8th edition rules, even though it was 9th edition, even though it was the end of 9th edition. So it was still using the Codex 8th edition. So... although everybody's rules, basically everybody except Guilliman's rules, said that your auras don't affect vehicles, Guilliman's auras did affect vehicles. So like my tanks were all reroll. Like tanks used to get like no rerolls. Well, all my tanks got rerolls because Guilliman was allowed in my Blood Angels army list. So I actually was running Guilliman with like a Gladiator Reaper. And the Gladiator Reaper was actually kind of good last edition because it just had like twin assault cannon before assault cannon was like, you know, like half the number of shots. So I want to say it had like 40 shots or something. And yeah, Bobby G didn't care that they didn't have the right keywords. He just let them reroll their ones. So it was actually kind of like it was such a stupid list, but it was so much fun. Like, because I would just say to people, I was like, alright, I'm just going to reroll everything on this tank now because of Guilliman, and they're like, but auras don't affect vehicles. And I was like, yeah, but Guilliman's rules are like 6 years old and they don't say that. So I like at the end of the season when you know 11th edition is coming, and actually I noticed that Chapter Master Valrak's already speaking about 11th edition. I noticed that he was like, he had a rumour video out today about 11th edition. I mean, I don't know if it's clickbait or not, I must admit I didn't watch it. I felt like it's a little bit early to be talking about 11th edition rumours, but I wonder if we're going to have some batshit season at the end where like all bets are off. Gilliman can once again join the Blood Angels. I kind of hope so, because I kind of want to have a reason to finish painting that model. I guess we'll find out. Gilliman got a massive buff in the points cost thing. Hey, he went down like 20% as well. Willem says, I hated the core keyword, especially because they'd give or take it away in data slates. Yeah, I'm kind of glad we moved away from the core nonsense, to be honest. I quite like the units attaching I quite like the characters attaching to units. I think that has been a positive change for 10th edition. If it's anything like the length of 9th edition, I wouldn't be surprised to see 11th announced by October next year. I think that they're on a standard 3-year cycle for editions. Not telling. We've talked about that a little on the podcast. I actually think 3 years is too short, especially like with the amount of armies that we have now. The fact that like Votan aren't even a complete force, and we're getting Emperor's Children next. I personally think that 3 years is too short, and that the edition should be a little bit longer. But I mean, I think each new edition brings in waves of new players, and each new edition probably brings in a boatload of money on the army boxes or the new starter boxes, whatever you want to call it. Every edition, it's like Space Marines as well. So it's like, I guess there's a lot of Space Marine players, and the new edition is a good excuse to purge a bunch of Firstborn kits and bring out new Primaris kits. So I think that's probably what's happening, and it's probably on a 3-year cycle. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe October next year, maybe a year from now, we'll know that. Is that what they typically? They're like they're telling us about the new edition 9 months in advance. Maybe. I must admit, I've never really paid too much attention to when they start talking about the new one, but I do know that the last 6 months, they have to do something with the last 6 months, because I think the player base goes up and up and up at the start of the edition, and then towards the end of the edition, everybody's had enough time to play that edition, and people are getting like bored, I guess. And I guess each new edition brings people back, all that sort of good stuff as well. Four years per edition should be the standard. Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? We all complained about the seasons being 6 months, and that was too short, and they have changed it this time round, so seasons are like a year now. Because remember, we used to get like chapter approved every 6 months, and it felt like it was too much. It felt like, and it also felt like there wasn't enough changes, right? Because it was like, when they had to release chapter approved every 6 months, it was like, oh, the missions haven't even changed, or the maps haven't even changed in the last 6 months, so why are we even buying the new book, right? So we are, we have had improvements, right? We are on like a 1 year cycle now for the seasons. You know, season 1 was like Leviathan, season 2 was Pariah Nexus, so I mean, that's been an improvement. So I mean, the best thing we can do is just be vocal about it. But yeah, I think that the edition is probably too big a thing for them to change. They're on a 3-year cycle. It's for both games, Warhammer and Age of Sigmar, I think. And I don't know if they're changing that. Sometimes when you're a business, like, if you make a lot of money doing one thing, you're just going to keep doing it, I guess. If your Codex comes out in 2025, I wouldn't pay for it, put it that way. I mean, that always happens, right? The Khorne Codex came out like 3 months before 10th. Like, they waited the whole of 9th edition. They had their Codex for like less than 3 months, and it was irrelevant, right? Like, there's always somebody who gets their Codex at the very end of the edition, and essentially those guys get kind of screwed. But I mean, I would prefer it if all the codexes came out at once, but again, I think it's like a business thing, right? Like, if all the codexes came out at once, it would force people to only buy like 1 or 2 of them. If they come out every 3 months, 1 or 2 at a time, then some people will buy all of them. So it's like, I don't know how we could, I don't know how we could tell Games Workshop we want that to change, because I don't think it will change. The thing is, if they brought out all the codexes at the start of the edition and everybody had their codex from day one, all the codexes would be better balanced against each other, and it would create more time, I guess. But then people's attention spans would fall off, and yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. You can't hype 10 codexes at the same time. Indeed, you cannot. I'm a real sucker for Dixon shirts. I don't know if you guys know the brand Dixon. They just make flannel shirts. And it's the same thing. They just release like a new shirt like every month, probably more than every month, like every few weeks. And I guess the fact that they can release one every few weeks means that you go and check out their website every few weeks, and it's a better, I guess it's a better thing for the business to do, right? Only Dixon Cider. I don't know Dixon Cider. I just know their flannel shirts. Staggering them in the first 6 months of release, everyone has their codex by the 6-month mark. They could balance that. I agree with, I mean, I would prefer that 100%. I just don't know if we will ever see that. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but I mean, there's not too much, I suppose, we can say about it. That's just the way it is, right? Plus, if they were trying to release all the codexes at once, it's, you know, like, it's probably a team of, there will be a team of people working on the codexes, and they need to have work 365 days a year, so to speak, you know? You heard that as Dixon shirts? Yeah, terrible joke. Alright guys, I got a few things to do tonight after I get off stream before I go to work in the morning, so I'm going to be here for like 5 more minutes. If you've got any final questions, now is the time. If not, I'll catch you on Friday's tactics video. I should be back here live on Saturday night for some more random chat and some more random hobby, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the track record of them getting the codexes out without instant changes is pretty bad, right? Like, if you look at the new codexes, like, they come out and they instantly require FAQs, data slates. So, we really need the Reaver video poll, do we? You're desperate. I can't tell if you're serious, Campbell. You are running Reivers in a competitive sense. You think they are a competitive unit. You are seriously wanting me to do a video on Reivers. Looking at Age of Sigmar books, they seem to have learned a ton. I don't know if, is it the same team though? Like, I don't think the rules writing team on Age of Sigmar is the rules writing team on games on 40k, right? I mean, I don't know, but I assume that they are different teams. I mean, they are different games. I mean, there might be some crossover, like the top level guys might cross over between both games, but like, your average rule writer for 40k is, like, I feel like there's a lot to know about 40k. Like, if you wanted to write a 40k codex, you would need to know an awful lot about 40k, right? Like, I don't even know if I would be qualified to write a 40k codex. I mean, I play quite a bit of 40k, right? Like, surely their job is just 40k. Surely they can't be trying to balance Sigmar as well, or whatever other game, you know? You're running the Hounds of Morai. The Hounds of Morai are a little bit better, though, than Reivers, right? What's the difference again? They get like some sort of psychic, anti-psychic thing? I must admit, I haven't seen the Hounds of Morai on the like, I've never played against them on the tabletop. I just remember the community article where they came out, and that I think I've never seen anyone play them. So I've played against a few Space Wolf players at tournaments, but yeah, I just never seen them. Most of the long-term guys move to Age of Sigmar. Highland Phoenix, you're very nice to me. Hello, Steel Rain, how are you? Do you like the new Sanguinary Guard, Steel Rain? You're Mr. Sanguinary Guard, aren't you? Typically, anyway. They have anti-psyker and 4-up dev wounds. Okay. That's not so bad, is it? I mean, I guess that's maybe why they get some play, huh? $10 points more. It feels like that would be good for Reivers for 10 points more. But maybe in the coming weeks, maybe we'll do a Reivers video. I'm not committing to it. I will make an effort to read the Reivers datasheet and see if I can come up with an interesting video about Reivers. But if I sit for like an hour looking at their datasheet, just thinking in my head, and nothing comes to me. Don't forget the Hammerfall bunker. We're not making a video on the Hammerfall bunker. That is, you have taken it too far. That's another unit I have never seen on the battlefield, or never taken, never played against it, never even... I don't think I've ever actually seen one in the flesh. I've done some Action Monkey videos. There's definitely some out there. I mean, the videos are still totally valid. Like, the only thing that's changed is Jump Intercessors went up 10 points. Newsflash is Jump Intercessors are just as good at 90 points as they were at 80 points. There's literally no reason not to take them still. I think a 10-point increase in Jump Intercessors is very, very minor. If you thought that they were strong before, they're still... Nothing changed with Jump Intercessors. They got 10... I mean, they were probably too good at 80 points. I feel like a lot of people said that, so they are now probably pointed just a little bit more fairly. Oh no, my 3 Hammerfall bunker list. I mean, the only reason to take 3 Hammerfall bunkers is, to fill up the board. They can't do anything else, right? This is a dumb question. Can a Hammerfall bunker do an action? I don't actually know. Is there anything that says fortifications cannot do actions? There must be, right? I guess on that bombshell, we'll leave you until next time. Yeah, I mean, I think jump intercessors are still super good at 90 points. I'd still be saying that if you want to run 3 of them, you should run 3 of them. They're that good. They're good enough to still run 3 of them 100%. Oh, they're OC 0? Of course, makes sense. Okay, thanks, Mike. Yeah, I mean, they can't hold objectives, right? That's kind of the ironic thing about it. You've got a giant bunker that you can park on an objective, and it actually won't hold it in any way, shape, or form, even though it's within range of the objective. Cool. Alright, guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. Thanks for the super chats, the support. Do always appreciate it. I'll see you guys on Friday for the tactics video, or I'll see some of you before then in Discord. If you did get a gifted membership, come hang out in Discord. You're very welcome there. Even at 100 points per 5, Daniel says jump intercessors would be good. Yeah, I think you'd start pushing it, maybe. That you might not want to run 3 units at 100 if they're as much as that, but they are still fine to run at 90. Maybe 100 would be pushing them. Oh! Mike is still live over on Twitch. So if you want to, Joe, check out Mike. He's live. He's painting Blood Angels. There's his Twitch link. Can I raid you? Have I got anyone watching on Twitch? One guy. Okay, I've put the link in the YouTube chat. Hopefully someone will jump across and you can see what you can see the Gladiator Lancer Mike's painting for me. So I have a tournament this weekend. My first round is against Bully Boys. How do you think I should go about beating them? I've done battle reports on this channel against Bully Boys, and I've even broke down a game against Bully Boys, Aaron, where I played them at the top table of a GT, and the winner won the GT, which was me. So probably might be worth going to have a quick look at that video. They are strong though. They do a lot of damage in melee. They stop you falling back out of melee. You actually kind of want to shoot them a bit. I don't know if your list has got shooting. But yeah, let me I was gonna go. I am still going. I'm gonna quickly show you the 2 videos I did against Bully Boys. I'm not gonna watch them with you. What I'm gonna do is show you what the thumbnails look like, so you can quickly look at them if you want. View your channel. Balrak's live, is he? Oh, we should jump all in there. Oh, he is talking about leaks. Look, we have leaks and heresy. He's apparently streaming in US time. Okay. Where's the video? Grand Tournament Final. The closest Grand Tournament Final, 81-81. That was my game against Bully Boys at the Grand Tournament. So there's a game against them at the final. It might be worth looking at this video. I finally won a Grand Tournament with 32 players. I definitely spoke about the game against Bully Boys in that video as well. And if you click over on live, there is a game, a rematch somewhere. A rematch. This one, the Grand Tournament final rematch. So the guy that I played on the final table to win the GT came on my stream and we replayed the final. Disclaimer, he beat me by like 1 point. I actually think I fucked up in the game and I should have won it, but you definitely learned something on Bully Boys for looking at those videos. That's what you want to check out. Okay. Hope that helps you, Aaron. Good luck at your tournament, by the way. You've got 2 Vindicators. Cool. Then you know, you need some shooting probably to kill Bully Boys. So 2 Vindicators will help you for sure. If you ever get a chance to kill the Mega Knobs, though, yeah, kill them for sure, because they're an absolute monster to deal with, especially when he's in his WAG turn. So I would do that. Bentley's going to go watch my tank get painted. Alright guys, have a great evening. I'll see you at some point in the next couple of days. By the blood are we made strong, you know the drill. Thanks so much. Peace. Good night.